The ball slammed into the net like a gunshot, echoing through the empty gym as I collapsed to my knees, tears blurring the championship banner that mocked me from the rafters. "You're nothing without him," Coach's voice cracked over the phone earlier that day, the betrayal slicing deeper than any loss ever could. In that frozen moment, with the scent of polished wood and stale sweat clinging to my skin, I realized the tournament I'd poured my soul into wasn't just about hoops. It was the lie I'd built my life around, crumbling under the weight of a love I never saw coming. I never thought a single email could upend my world, but there it was in my inbox on a muggy August morning in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. An invitation to the Apex Challenge, a no-holds-barred college basketball showcase bankrolled by some tech billionaire named Ethan Hale. The prize? A cool $1 million for the winning team, plus pro contracts with his shiny new league. It was the kind of opportunity that made broke undergrads like me salivate. Tuition paid, dreams unlocked, the whole American bootstrap myth wrapped in a glossy PDF. I was a junior guard for the Tar Heels, scraping by on partial scholarships and late-night shifts at a campus diner, hiding who I really was behind crossover dribbles and trash talk that kept everyone at arm's length. Gay in the South? It was like wearing a scarlet letter under your jersey. No one needed to know. The tournament kicked off in late September at a massive arena in Atlanta, Georgia, the kind of place where the air hummed with corporate sponsorships and the faint tang of overpriced nachos. 32 teams from across the country, handpicked for their grit and glory. We arrived in chartered buses, the team buzzing like hornets in a hive, slapping high fives and blasting trap beats from portable speakers. I kept my head down, lacing up my Nikes with fingers that trembled just a bit. Rumors swirled about Hale, Harvard dropout turned Silicon Valley wunderkind, worth billions from some AI startup that predicted stock crashes before they happened. He was out and proud, the kind of gay icon who graced Forbes covers without apology. But to us players, he was just the guy signing the checks. Opening night, the arena pulsed with 20,000 fans, students in face paint, alumni in silk ties, scouts scribbling notes on clipboards. Ethan Hale took the mic center court, all 6'3" of him in a charcoal suit that hugged his frame like it was tailored by angels. Mid-30s, salt and pepper hair cropped close, eyes like polished obsidian that scanned the crowd with quiet command. "This isn't just a game," he said, his voice smooth as bourbon over ice, carrying that faint Boston clip from his East Coast roots. "It's a test of skill, of heart, of what you're willing to risk when the clock's ticking down." The crowd erupted, but I caught the flicker in his gaze. Something personal, hungry, like he was searching for more than jump shots. Our first matchup was against a scrappy crew from UCLA. I dropped 28 points, threading needles through double teams, my handle so tight they called it witchcraft in the postgame huddle. But it was in the handshake line that I first locked eyes with him. Hale was there, mingling with the VIPs, a champagne flute dangling from his fingers. He extended a hand, firm grip, calluses rough against my palm. Waiter's hands, I thought, or maybe from something else. "Impressive footwork, Alex Rivera," he said, reading my name off the roster like he'd memorized it. Up close, he smelled like cedar and ambition, and for a split second, the world narrowed to the heat of his skin on mine. "Keep that fire burning." I mumbled a thanks, cheeks burning hotter than the Georgia sun, and bolted to the locker room before my heart betrayed me. As the bracket tightened, so did the pressure. We clawed through regionals in a blur of hotel lobbies and ice baths, my stats climbing like a fever dream. 30-point triple-doubles, game-winning threes that kissed the rim goodbye. Teammates started calling me Ghost for how I vanished defenders, but off the court, I was unraveling. Late nights scrolling Ethan's Instagram, candid shots from Napa Vineyards, him laughing with drag queens at Pride galas, a vulnerability in his smiles that twisted something deep in my gut. Was it admiration? Crush? I shoved it down, focusing on tape sessions and protein shakes, but his presence loomed. He'd show up courtside unannounced, leaning forward during timeouts, his nods of approval landing like sparks on dry tinder. By semifinals in Memphis, Tennessee, the hype was feverish. ESPN crews swarmed the hotel, dubbing it the Hale Bowl, after Ethan's wallet. Our opponent, Duke, the Blue Devils themselves, led by a cocky point guard named Tyler who'd trash-talked me on Twitter all week. Game night, the FedEx Forum throbbed with blue-clad fans chanting obscenities. I was ice-cold pre-tip, visualizing fades and pick-and-rolls, until halftime when Tyler clipped my ankle on a drive, sending me sprawling. The whistle blew, but the pain was secondary to the fury boiling up, the kind that whispered, "Prove you're more than this." Second half, I erupted. Crossovers that left ankles sprained. Pull-ups from logo range that swished pure poetry. We won by 12, and as the buzzer sounded, the crowd's roar drowned out everything but the thunder in my chest. In the tunnel, slick with sweat, Ethan was waiting. No suit this time, just a black hoodie and jeans that did unfair things to his legs. "You didn't just play tonight, Alex. You owned it." His hand clapped my shoulder, lingering a beat too long, thumb brushing the nape of my neck. Electricity shot through me, and I swear the fluorescent lights flickered. Dinner? My treat. Debrief the madness. It wasn't a question. Heart hammering. I nodded, the word, "yeah," barely escaping my throat. That meal at a hole-in-the-wall soul food spot on Beale Street changed everything. Over fried green tomatoes and ribs that fell off the bone, Ethan peeled back layers I'd only glimpsed online. Grew up in a mill town outside Boston. Dad a union welder who drank too much. Mom a librarian who taught him to dream bigger. Came out at 16, lost friends but gained a fire that built Hailtech from a dorm room hack to a Fortune 500 beast. "Money's a tool, not the goal," he said, eyes softening over candlelight. "This tournament? It's my way of giving back what the game gave me, chance, community." I opened up too, haltingly. Immigrant parents from Mexico, the weight of being the first in my family to college, the closet I'd locked myself in since high school. "Basketball's my armor," I admitted, fork midway to my mouth. "Keeps the questions at bay." He reached across the scarred oak table, covering my hand with his. Warm, steady. "Armor gets heavy, Alex. Sometimes you gotta let someone help carry it." From there, it snowballed. Stolen moments between games, texts at 2 a.m. about favorite Kobe highlights, walks along the Mississippi at dawn where our shoulders brushed accidental on purpose. He was 34 to my 21, a chasm of experience, but in those quiet hours, it felt like we'd been orbiting each other forever. The finals loomed in New Orleans, Mardi Gras beads dangling from balconies like forgotten promises, and with them, a confession I couldn't dodge. After a practice scrimmage, in the shadowed corner of the Smoothie King Center's auxiliary gym, I kissed him. Or he kissed me. Doesn't matter. It was salt and need, his fingers threading my damp hair, pulling me close until the world was just us, breathing ragged, hearts sinking like a perfect fast break. But romance in the spotlight is a fragile thing. Whispers started. Teammates side-eyeing my late exits. A tabloid blogger snapping blurry pics of us at Café du Monde. Beignet dusted on our lips. Ethan brushed it off. "Let them talk. We're building something real." But doubt crept in like humidity. Why me? A kid from the barrios with calloused hands and a chip on his shoulder? He had models and moguls in his DMs, yet here he was, canceling board meetings for pickup games where I'd school him on Eurosteps. It felt too good, too fast, the kind of fairy tale that ends with the prince vanishing at midnight. The betrayal hit like a screen I never saw coming. 2 nights before finals, I overheard it in Ethan's suite at the Windsor Court Hotel. Door ajar, voices low. His assistant, a sharp-suited woman named Lena, and some venture capitalist drone. The tournament's gold, Ethan, ratings through the roof. But that Rivera kid? Leverage him. Sign him exclusive, spin the underdog story. Investors eat that shit up. Ethan's pause stretched eternal. Then, he's more than PR. But yeah, use the narrative. Just keep it clean. My stomach dropped, the powdered sugar from earlier turning to ash. Use the narrative. Me reduced to a feel-good subplot in his empire-building script. I backed away silent, tears hot on my cheeks. The elevator ride down a descent into hell. Sleep evaded me that night, the French Quarter's jazz mocking my turmoil. Betrayal wasn't just the words. It was the realization that every stolen glance, every whispered "you're incredible," might have been laced with calculation. Was the tournament his test and I the unwitting lab rat? By morning, resolve hardened in my chest like court tar. Finals against Villanova. The Caesars Superdome electric with 50,000 souls. Purple and gold clashing like storm clouds. Ethan in his box seat, waving like nothing fractured. I channeled it all, the hurt, the hope, the rage, into every possession. Tip off, and I was a ghost again. Phasing through picks, raining threes that bent the arc of fate. Villanova pressed, their big man swatting shots like flies. But I adapted, dishing no-looks to cutters, drawing fouls with surgical drives. Halftime, up by 8. Coach gripped my arm. Whatever demon's riding you, keep feeding it. Second half blurred into frenzy, ties, lead changes. A technical on their coach for protesting a no-call. With 4.2 seconds left, down by 1, ball in my hands. The dome hushed, then exploded as I pump-faked, sidestepped the screen, and launched from 28 feet. Swish. Nothing but net. 92-90 Tar Heels. The dog pile was chaos. Arms everywhere. Screams piercing my ears, but my eyes sought him. Ethan, pushing through the throng. Pride beaming like he'd birthed the win himself. Trophy in hand, confetti raining magnesium white. He pulled me into a hug that swallowed the world. You did it, Alex. You shocked us all. Camera flashes popped like gunfire, the moment immortalized. But as his lips brushed my ear, meet me later? The fracture line cracked wider. I nodded, numb, the $1 million check feeling like fool's gold. Post-game gala at the convention center, champagne rivers and shrimp towers. I floated through handshakes, Ethan's arm a casual anchor around my waist for the cameras. Sponsors clapped my back, calling me the future. But the future tasted bitter. Slipping away to a balcony overlooking the lit-up Mississippi. The river's murmur a balm, he found me. What's eating you? Wind tousled his hair, city lights haloing him ethereal. I turned, words tumbling like loose balls. I heard you. In the suite. Use the narrative. Am I just your Cinderella story? Ethan? The poor kid you polish up for the boardroom pitch. His face crumpled, color draining like a fadeaway. Alex, no, God, no. It wasn't like that. He stepped closer, hands raised in surrender. Lena's pushing the angle for funding, sure. The league needs buzz. But you're the reason I started this whole damn thing. Lie? Truth? His eyes pleaded, raw. After my ex, 2 years ago, he gutted me for a startup rival. Left me questioning if any of it was real. This tournament was my reset. Find talent, build something pure. Then you walked in, all fire and grace, and it woke me up. He took my hand, thumb tracing my knuckles. You're not narrative. You're the plot twist I didn't see coming. Doubt warred with desire, the night's humidity pressing like judgment. Prove it. I whispered, voice breaking. Walk away from the spin. Let me be more than the poster boy. He searched my face, then nodded. Fierce. Deal. Starting now. And there, under a canopy of stars smeared by city haze, he kissed me. Not the frantic press of before, but slow, deliberate. A vow etched in salt and promise. The river churned below, witness to our fragile pact. But climaxes demand fallout. Next morning, headlines screamed, Hails air. Rivera romance fuels league launch? Leaked photos from the gala, speculation rife. Backlash hit like a full-court press. Teammates texting side eyes. My parents calling from San Diego with worried Spanglish about distractions. Ethan's world imploded too. Investors balking at the personal entanglement. Lena quitting with a scorched earth email calling it reckless. We holed up in his quarter suite, plotting over room service beignet. Laughter brittle but real. Screw him, he said, sketching league bylaws on a napkin. We build it our way, transparent, inclusive. Your voice in every call. Weeks blurred into a whirlwind. Media tours from LA to NYC. Me dodging endorsement deals while Ethan lawyered up against smears. The romance deepened in stolen normalcy. A road trip through the Smokies, windows down, his hand on my thigh as we belted Springsteen. Thanksgiving at his Beacon Hill brownstone. turkey burning because we got lost in a kitchen kiss. But shadows lingered. Tyler from Duke, bitter from the loss, fed a story to a gossip rag. Hale rigged it for his boy toy. Lies, but they stung, forcing Ethan to countersue, draining his light. The real storm broke in December, snow blanketing Boston like a shroud. We'd flown east for a gala fundraiser, Hailteka's holiday bash at the seaport. I was in a borrowed tux, feeling like an imposter among the glitterati, when Lena crashed the party. Disheveled, eyes wild, she cornered us by the ice sculpture. You think it's over? I have emails, Ethan, proof you scouted him months ago. Groomed the rags to riches angle from jump. My blood iced. Groomed? The sweet conversation replayed, her words twisting like a bad ankle. Ethan paled. Lena, that's bullshit. You know it. But she waved her phone, timestamps glaring. Check your sent folder, lover boy. Later, alone in the penthouse, he did face ashen. It's true. Not grooming, but I saw your highlight reel last spring, Alex. Followed your games. The tournament was my excuse to meet you. Half truth, half betrayal. My chest caved. So I was targeted from the start? The test wasn't the players. It was me. He reached, desperate. No, it evolved. What we have is real. Real like your boardroom scripts? I stormed out into the flurry, cabbing to Logan, boarding the red-eye to Raleigh without a word. The flight was purgatory, tears freezing on my lashes. Back in Chapel Hill, the apartment echoed empty, jerseys mocking from the closet. Classes resumed, but I ghosted practices, coach benching me with a disappointed shake of his head. Friends probed gently, trouble in paradise? But I stonewalled, burying in runs along Jordan Lake. The waters slap a rhythm to my rage. Christmas came cruel, parents' voices tinny over FaceTime, oblivious to the void. Ethan's texts piled up. Apologies, please. A video of him at Fenway, alone in the stands, whispering, I miss your laugh more than the winds. I deleted them unread, but doubt gnawed. Was it all manipulation? Or the messy authenticity of two guarded hearts colliding? New Year's, drunk on cheap tequila at a house party. I scrolled old clips, the tournament montage, my buzzer beater synced to his proud grin. Enough. I booked a flight. Boston welcomed me with biting wind, the brownstone aglow like a beacon. He opened the door in sweats, unshaven, hope flickering in his eyes. Alex. One word. A lifeline. I stepped in, shedding my coat like armor. I came for answers, not absolution. We talked till dawn, curled on the leather couch by a crackling fire, truths spilling like embers. Yes, he'd noticed me early, drawn to the poetry in my play, the resilience in my story. But the tournament? Born of loss, not scheme. You shocked me, Alex. Not with skills, but with you. Made me believe in second chances. Forgiveness isn't linear. It's a layup in traffic, all fakes and adjustments. We rebuilt slow. Therapy sessions tandem, his hand in mine as we unpacked closets literal and figurative. The league launched in spring, rechristened Apex United, diverse rosters, mental health stipends, pride patches on every jersey. I signed, not as poster boy, but partner in vision, balancing pro ball with poli-sci classes. Conflicts arose, jealous rivals, media vultures, but we faced them shoulder to shoulder, his steady presence my best defense. Summer found us in Malibu, waves crashing like applause, a quiet ceremony on the cliffs. Vows exchanged under a rainbow flag, rings simple platinum bands engraved with swish. No fanfare, just us, the ocean's roar sealing our pact. Looking back, the tournament wasn't a test. It was the court where we found our rhythm, passing through betrayals to a love that outscored them all. In America's grand, flawed arena, we played for keeps. And damn, it felt like winning. The off-season stretched like an endless fast break, coast-to-coast freedom after the tournament's cage. Ethan and I crisscrossed the map in his Gulfstream. Low-key, no entourage, just duffel stuffed with hoodies and dreams. First stop, Austin, Texas, where the live music scene throbbed like a heartbeat. We caught a midnight set at the Continental Club, arms slung casual around each other, his laughter rumbling low as some bearded troubadour crooned about lost loves. "Reminds me of us," he murmured into my ear, breath warm against the bar's neon hum. I elbowed him playful. "Ours isn't lost. It's just getting started." That night, in a bungalow off South Congress, we mapped the league's future on butcher paper, his marker strokes bold as his kisses. But normalcy's a myth for guys like us. Back east, the leaks kept dripping. A Vanity Fair profile painted Ethan as the basketball baron, me as his trophy talent. Cutesy, but it rankled, reducing our nights of vulnerability to tabloid fodder. I fired back in a guest spot on a sports podcast. Voice steady. "Love isn't leverage. It's the layup that wins the game." Listeners ate it up, but trolls swarmed my mentions, slurs slinging like errant passes. Ethan shielded me, hiring a digital fixer to scrub the noise, but scars formed subtle. One evening in his Manhattan pied-a-terre, skyline glittering like fool's diamonds, I snapped at a waiter over a botched order. He pulled me aside, gentle. "Hey, warrior, breathe." His hug disarmed me, always did, chest broad as a backboard, scent grounding like home soil. We leaned into the work. Apex United's inaugural draft in Chicago, July heat wave turning the United Center into a sauna. Ethan at the podium in a seersucker suit, announcing picks with flair, me scouting from the wings, clipboard in hand. My name came first overall, ironic, full circle, and the room thundered. Post-draft party on a yacht in Lake Michigan, wind whipping waves white, we toasted with IPAs. "To Shocks," he said, clinking bottles, eyes twinkling mischief. Later, under a meteor shower on the deck, I confessed the fear gnawing. "What if I flame out? Bust of the year." He traced my jaw, serious. "Then we pivot. Together. You're not defined by stats, Alex." Fall training camp in Orlando, Florida, sun-soaked courts at Disney's wide world of sports. Teammates ribbed me, "Hale's golden boy," but bonds formed quick. Jamal from Kentucky, a lanky forward with a killer fadeaway and zero filter. Riley, our center, trans and towering, who schooled us on allyship over post-drill burritos. Ethan popped in weekly, consulting in board shorts, running suicides that left him gassed and grinning. One afternoon, after a grueling shell drill, he collapsed beside me on the turf, panting. "You're brutal, Rivera." I smirked, tossing him a Gatorade. "Gotta keep the boss sharp." Our glances lingered, charged, until Jamal catcalled, "Get a gym, lovebirds." Laughter diffused it, but the pull was magnetic, a gravity we navigated daily. Conflict brewed subtle. Ethan's ex, Marcus, the one who'd torched him, resurfaced via a LinkedIn connection request that escalated to emails. "Miss our synergy," the messages read, laced with venture bait. I spotted one open on his laptop during a layover in Denver, jealousy flaring hot. "Synergy? That's code for screwing you over." Ethan sighed, rubbing temples. "Ancient history, babe. He's fishing for scraps. But trust, once bent, wobbles." I withdrew, snaps curt during calls, burying in film study till 3 a.m. He confronted me in our hotel suite, voice edged. "Talk to me, Alex. Don't ice me out." Words erupted. "I'm scared you'll trade up for someone without the baggage." He cupped my face, fierce. "Baggage? That's our carry-on. I chose you, flaws, fire all." Reconciliation came raw, on a hike through Rocky Mountain National Park, aspens whispering gold. Midway up a trail, views stretching eternal, he stopped, backpack thudding. I ghosted Marcus. Blocked, deleted, done. Then, from his pocket, a key fob. "To the Durham house. If you want it." Our first real home, not his penthouse satellite, but ours. I took it, tears pricking, and pulled him into a kiss that tasted of pine and promise. "I want it all," I said. "Us." Winter League opener in Seattle. Pacific drizzle veiling the Climate Pledge arena. Apex United versus a rival startup squad. The Kraken irony thick. Pre-game jitters amped by Ethan's presence in the owner's box. Tie loosened, cheering audible over the din. I dropped 35, a season high, orchestrating an upset win with a step back that echoed nationwide. Post-game presser, mics thrust like swords, a reporter lobbed, Rivera. Rumors say Hale's influence swayed your draft. Fair play. The room tensed. I leaned in, mic crackling. Ethan built this league on merit. My game's the proof. Flashbulbs popped. Ethan, watching from afar, mouthed proud. But glory's double-edged. A string of road games. Philly, Miami, Portland. Stretched us thin. Time zones tolling like bells. Texts turned terse. Miss you, evolving to call when you land. One night in Portlandia, after a double OT loss, exhaustion cracked me open. FaceTime with him, pixels blurring his worry. I feel like we're parallel plays, never sinking. He nodded, weary. The league's devouring us. Pause. We agreed. A weekend reset in Napa, his vineyard retreat. California wine country enveloped us like velvet. Rolling hills emerald. Air crisp with earth and ferment. Checked into a cottage at Sterling Vineyards. Balcony overlooking trellises heavy with Cabernet. Days blurred. Tastings where his sommelier knowledge outshone mine. Hikes through oak groves where we'd collapse laughing, mud splattered. Evenings by the fire pit, stars pricking the indigo, stories unfurling. He shared the fracture of coming out. High school hallways echoing slurs. His first boyfriend's ghosting after a leaked photo. Thought love was a liability. I wove in my tapestry. Bordertown whispers about that queer kid. The relief of my first pride in college. Rainbow flag fluttering like freedom. You're my safe harbor, Ethan. Intimacy deepened, not in bedsheets but souls. His head on my chest as I read poetry aloud. Neruda's verses bridging our worlds. One dawn, fog lifting like revelation. He proposed expansion, Apex Foundation, scholarships for LGBTQ plus youth in sports. Your lead. My heart swelled. Ours. But omens lurked. A voicemail from coach. Ominous. Scouts whispering doubts. Stay focused. Spring playoffs loomed. Bracket fever gripping the league. Conference semis in Atlanta. Full circle to the tournament's cradle. We faced the expansion Hornets. A gritty underdog squad. Game 3, series tied. I twisted an ankle on a baseline drive. Pop like gunfire, pain lancing white hot. Carted off. Arena blurring. Ethan's face swam into view from the tunnel, pale as chalk. Breathe, Alex. I've got you. MRI confirmed. Grade 2 sprain. Playoffs in jeopardy. Locker room post-game. Ice numbing the throb. Teammates murmured sympathies. But isolation clawed. Bench warmer now. I joked bitter to Jamal. He punched my good arm. Nah, Captain. Ethan whisked me to his Atlanta pied terra, a loft overlooking Piedmont Park. Nursed with heating pads and takeout foe, his attentiveness a salve. Remember Memphis? He said one night, propping my foot. You owned that court hurt. Do it again. Gratitude morphed to guilt. Me sidelined. Him juggling crises. A sponsor pullout over optics. Arguments flared petty. You're hovering. You're pushing. Culminated in a blowout over takeout tie. Me accusing smothering. Him snapping about ingratitude. Door slammed silence. Him to the balcony. Me stewing in sheets. Dawn reconciliation. Coffee bitter as regret. We're human, he said. Handing me a mug etched. Team Hail Rivera. Flaws included. I pulled him down, ankle be damned. Teach me patience? Laughter bridged it, fragile but firm. Finals approached. My limp a defiant strut. Game 1 in Vegas. Sphere lights pulsing psychedelic. Limited minutes off the bench, but my threes sparked a run. Post-win huddle. Ethan's text. Lights out. Pride swelled. But whispers escalated. Anonymous sources to Bleacher Report. Hale's favoritism tanking the league. Stock dipped. Boardroom revolt brewing. Ethan downplayed it over FaceTime, jaw tight. Noise. I pressed. Fight it head on. His paws chilled. Some fights cost too much. The axe fell mid-series. Game 4 in the desert heat. Lena's revenge. Leaked docs showing preferential scouting on me. Twisted to nepotism. Headlines screamed rigged riches. Sponsors fled. Fans booed our intros. Ethan called emergency presser. Voice steal. Apex stands for integrity. Slander won't fell us. But privately, to me in the hotel suite. Might have to step back. For the league. Panic spiked. No, we built this. His eyes shadowed. Some builds crumble. Crisis mode descended like a zone defense, suffocating every angle. Back in Durham, our new home. A craftsman bungalow with creaky porches and a backyard hoop became war room. Ethan paced the living room, phone glued to ear, fielding calls from rattled execs. I limped circuits around the kitchen island, ankle braced but spirit bruised, drafting statements on my laptop. Call it out, I urged, words flying. Transparency tour, every email, every decision. He paused, mid-sip of black coffee, admiration flickering. You're a natural, Rivera. Co-GM material. Grin cracked through but tension coiled tight. Public fallout hit personal. My parents, finally looped in on the relationship, flew from San Diego. Mom clutching rosaries, Dad stoic in his angel's cap. Dinner that first night was a minefield. Tamales steaming on the table. Ethan's charm offensive met with wary nods. He's good people, mi hijo? Mom asked, eyes searching mine over flan. I squeezed her hand. The best. We're in the trenches together. Dad grunted approval after Ethan shared stories of his own blue-collar roots, bonding over tales of rusty Chevys and midnight shifts. But media hounded. Paparazzi at the airport, a drone buzzing our barbecue. Give us space. Ethan barked at one lens jockey, arm possessive around me. League response fractured. Players' union issued a wait and see. But whispers of boycotts chilled the air. Jamal texted, got your back, Ghost. But this drama's wild. I rallied a Zoom with Corvettes, Riley leading chants of one team, me outlining reforms. Independent audits, player veto on sponsorships. Ethan's buy-in sealed it. By week's end, a manifesto dropped, viral on TikTok with hoop montages underscoring unity. Backlash softened, fans trending Apex Authentic, a queer athlete collective endorsing us. But betrayal's echo lingered. Sleepless nights, I'd replay Lena's venom, wondering if trust was fool's gold. One storm-lashed evening, thunder rumbling like arena crowds, Ethan found me on the porch swing, rain sheeting the screens. Penny for him? He settled beside, thigh warm against mine. I exhaled ragged. What if it's me? The weak link drawing fire. His arm draped heavy, anchoring. Nah, you're the spark. Without you, this league's just suits and spreadsheets. Kiss followed, soft, rains patter our soundtrack. We're unbreakable, he murmured. I wanted to believe. Rehab grind consumed days. PT sessions at Duke Sports Med. Ethan tagging along, turning exercises into games, who could plank longest without cracking jokes. Progress tracked in inches, first unassisted sprint, then contact drills that left bruises blooming like badges. Teammates visited, turning the driveway into impromptu 3-on-3, laughter echoing off the garage. Ethan's involvement blurred lines. A scout grumbled, conflict at camp. But I shut it down, he's family. Deal. Summer League showcase in Vegas Redux. My ankle a faint twinge. Drop 22 in the finale. Scouts nodding, redemption arc intact. Post-game, Ethan surprised with a suite at the Bellagio, fountains dancing below. Celebration, he said, popping Vuve. Toasts turned tender, his fingers interlacing mine. Proud doesn't cover it. Vulnerability cracked open. Scared sometimes, that I'll drag you down. He shook head. Elevate, Alex. Always. Bed that night was sanctuary. Bodies entwined not in haste but healing. Whispers weaving futures. Fall heralded renewal. Apex's sophomore season tipped in Brooklyn. Barclays buzzing electric. Opening night, me starting, Ethan in the broadcast booth for neutrality. His voice calling my first bucket smooth as ever. Win by 15, champagne showers in the tunnel. But undercurrents swirled. Marcus, Ethan's ex, now advising a competitor league, poaching talent with fat offers. Whispers reached me via agent. Double your bag, kid. Ditch the drama. Temptation flickered. Financial freedom for my folks. Escape from scrutiny. But loyalty anchored. Told Ethan over late-night ramen. Staying. His relief palpable, hug-crushing. Knew you would. Soul of the operation. Mid-season malaise struck December. A skid of 3 losses. My shooting flat as Kansas. Press dubbed it, Hail Hangover. Implying distraction. Ethan and I argued in the team bus after a blown lead in Cleveland. Me blaming turnovers, him citing fatigue. You're pushing too hard, he said, voice low. Rest. I bristled. Can't. Proves I'm right. Fracture widened. He skipped the next homestand, citing business. Loneliness gnawed. Games mechanical. Nights scrolling his empty side of the bed. Rock bottom. Christmas Eve loss to the expansion waves. My airball ceiling doom. Locker room postmortem. Coach pulled me aside. Heart's missing, son. Drove home through snow-dusted streets. Radio crooning carols mocking cheer. Bungalow dark, but porch light glowed. Ethan, travel-weary, duffel at feet. Couldn't stay away. Inside, tree twinkling half-decorated. He handed a box. Custom jersey, Rivera hail, stitched across back. Team of 2. Tears came unbidden. Missed you. Cuddle under lights, ornaments clinking. We unpacked the strain. His fear of smothering, my dread of failure. Partners, we vowed. No sidelines. New year brought pivot. Joint therapy, a silver-haired doc in Raleigh with a no BS vibe unraveled knots. Sessions revealed my abandonment script, rooted in Dad's long hauls. Ethan's control streak, forged in betrayal's forge. Tools emerged. Weekly check-ins, pause phrases to halt spirals. Applied immediately. Road trip to San Antonio Spurs alumni game, where we refereed youth clinic, kids' joy infectious. One tyke, gap-toothed, asked, "You two married?" Ethan winked. Soulbound. My heart flipped. Playoffs dawned fierce. First round versus the Heat 2.0 in Miami. Humidity thick as plot. Game 5, down 10 in fourth, I orchestrated comeback. Step back on Butler's clone, dish to Riley for the flush. Buzzer beater floater, arena erupting. Ethan courtside incognito in shades, fist pumped subtle. Conference finals in Denver, altitude biting, tested grit, game 7 triple OT marathon, my 42 points etching legend. Finals rematch, Apex versus Kraken in neutral Chicago, United Center a cauldron. Game 1, Kraken's press suffocated, loss stinging. Hotel bar postmortem, Ethan analytical, adjust pick angles. I nodded but fire banked. Game 2, tweaks clicked. My handles slicing, Ethan's halftime notes via text gold. Steel series 4-2, trophy lift surreal. Confetti blizzard, teammates hoisting me, Ethan's eyes from the dais locking mine. We did it, he mouthed. MVP hardware heavy, but his arm around me in the parade float. Through loop canyons, fans chanting, "Hail!" Revere, felt eternal. Off-season euphoria. European jaunt, Paris to Rome, croissants and gelato fueling lazy rambles. Colosseum shadows long, Ethan's hand in mine. Gladiators, us. Back stateside, foundation launch, scholarship gala in D.C., me emceeing, stories from grantees piercing. A teen from rural Georgia, voice quaking. Your story gave me courage to come out. Applause thundered. Ethan's grip tightened. Teary. Yet humanity's arc bends bittersweet. Fall diagnosis. Ethan's routine check flagged arrhythmia. Minor but insistent. Pacemaker? At 35. Panic surged. Hospital vigil in Mass General. Monitors beeping lullabies. I held his hand, vowing. Through this. Recovery slow, him sidelined from courts, me captaining practices. Strengthened us, me learning lead without lean, him yielding control. League Year 3, innovations bloomed. Mental health days, queer pride nights drawing record crowds. My stats plateaued, but impact soared. mentoring rookies, penning op-eds on visibility. Ethan's health stabilized, our rhythm refined, date nights at hole-in-walls, anniversaries on that NOLA balcony. Anniversaries mark milestones, but ours felt like halftime shows. Flashy, fleeting, underscoring the game's unfinished business. 2 years post-tournament, a quiet dinner at our Durham spot. Candlelit patio, string lights twinkling like distant arenas, steaks searing on the grill. Ethan raised a glass of Napa Red, eyes crinkling. To shocks that stick. I clinked, smirking. And skills that shock back. Laughter flowed easy, but undercurrent tugged. His subtle wince when lifting platters, the faint scar from surgery peeking at his collar. Pacemaker check tomorrow, he mentioned casual. I nodded, masking worry. I'll drive. Life's rhythm asserted. Apex thriving, expansion to 10 teams, broadcast deals with ESPN. I inked a max extension, but philanthropy pulled stronger. Foundation now funding 50 scholarships yearly. Clinics in underserved hoods from Compton to the Bronx. One visit to a Brooklyn rec center. Kids dribbling on cracked asphalt. A wiry guard named Jaden mirrored my younger self. Hungry eyes, crossover filthy. Teach me that hesitation, he begged. I did. Ethan's voice from the sidelines. Ankle breaker. Jaden's grin lit the dusk. A ripple we started. Personal tides turned choppy. Parents' visit overlapped a league summit in NYC. Mom doting on Ethan, such a provider. Dad grilling him on stocks over deli pastrami. But tension simmered. A cousin's wedding invite arrived. +1 unspoken. They know. Mom probed gentle. I sighed. Halfway. Ethan squeezed my knee under the table. When you're ready. That night, Broadway stroll. Phantoms ghosts haunting. I cracked. Scared they'll disown the golden boy. He halted under a marquee. You're their pride. Love's the encore. Betrayal's ghost resurfaced via Marcus. Now a podcast host. Episodes dissecting Hale's follies. An invite to collab dangled. Bridge the divide? Ethan declined polite, but the barb landed. Sleepless, I scrolled old clips. Tournament betrayal reel, Lena's face smirking. History repeats? I voiced Dawn Coffee. He set mug down deliberate. Not on my watch, but maybe. Closure call. Dialed together, speaker on Marcus oily, probing weaknesses. Ethan firm. Past tense. Move on. Click. Catharsis washed, but vulnerability lingered. Therapy doubled down. Doc challenging. Boundaries as muscle. Flex 'em. Summer league in Vegas again, heat mirage shimmering. I coached prospects. Ethan networked lounges. But a scout's whisper chilled. Rookie phenom sniffing your spot, Rivera. Age 24. Prime ticking? Paranoia crept. Shots clanging in scrims. Ethan noticed. Post-drill huddle. Form's fine. Head's not. Trail run next morn. Desert sun rising. Sweat purging doubt. Legacy over longevity, he panted. You're etching it. Fall tip-off opener in LA Forum Redux. Ghosts of Kobe whispering. 40-point double-double. Win crisp. But media mind. Rivera's ring chasing. Hale's shadow. Presser dodge. Team first. Off-court. Ethan's board pressured expansion pause. Market saturation. Arguments escalated. Me pushing growth, him cautioning. Legacy's sustainable, he insisted, voice edged. Not empire. Storm to guest room. Door thud echoing. Morning truce over smoothies. Compromise. Pilot markets. Yielded. Resentment simmering. Mid-season pivot. All-star break in Phoenix. Desert bloom ironic. Weekend getaway to Sedona. Red Rocks towering sentinel. Vortex hikes. Energy humming. We vortex truths. His fear of overreach. My dread of obsolescence. We're co-stars, I said. Hand in his atop a butte. Not solo acts. Sunset vows renewed. Windswept. Playoffs brutal ballet. First round sweep. Semis against old foes Kraken. Game 6. Down 3-2. Fourth quarter frenzy. My steal. Coast-to-coast slam igniting rally. OT Dagger 3 series hours. Finals versus Waves, Miami Swelter, Series to 7. Game 7, Arena Fever Dream, tied at 98, 10 ticks left. Isolation, me versus their ace, crossover, hesitation, pull-up contested. Rim rattled, hung, dropped. 101 to 98. Trophy chaos, MVP redux, Ethan's hug amidst flash. My hero, euphoria crested, but cracks spidered. Post-finals gala in South Beach, celebs swirling. A producer cornered Ethan. Biopic rights? Your love story sells. He demurred, but seed planted. Homebound, jet lag heavy. I broached, Hollywood? Us as plot. He laughed. Fantasy, but unease stirred. Our private epic commodified? Off-season odyssey. Europe redux, Barcelona's gaudy whimsy mirroring our twists. Sagrada Familia spires piercing sky. Ethan's awe, unfinished masterpiece. Like us, back foundation gala in SF drag brunch fundraiser proceeds soaring. A performer's lip sync to Dancing Queen had us tearing up, his hand clammy in mine. Grateful, he whispered. Health scare redux. Routine scan flagged arrhythmia spike. Air dash, Boston blizzard raging. Monitors again, his jokes feeble. Deja vu. I paced vinyl floors calling parents for prayers. Cleared minor tweak, but fragility etched deep. Recovery cabin fever, him chafing at rest. Coddling kills, he griped. I countered. Care sustains. Balance teetered, snips sharpening. League year 4 dawned ambitious. International series in London. Tube riding to O2 Arena. Win abroad, jet back for home slate. My games evolved, less flash, more maestro, assists cresting. But youth nipped. Jaden, now rook, posterizing vets, press dubbing next ghost. Pride mixed envy. Mentored him post-practice. Own it. Ethan beamed from stands. Legacy building. Conflict-crested autumn. Board ultimatum. Sell stake or face vote. Two intertwined. They cited. My name poison. Ethan confided over whiskey neat. Fire crackling. Might fold. Panic clawed. Fight. He shook head weary. For what? Us first. Sleepless vigil. Dawn decision. Press conference announcing step back. Me interim face. Apex endures. I declared, voice steady. Backlash brief. Fans rallied. Stock rebounded. Winter solstice. Durham snow blanketing hoop. We strung lights, tree groaning laden. Resilient. He toasted eggnog. Nodded, arm around waist. Us. Spring surge. Playoffs gauntlet. Semis thriller. Finals rematch waves. Neutral Dallas. Series epic. Game 7 nail biter. Down 2. Timeout 30 left. Ethan's text. Breathe. Yours. Inbound. Screen, hesitation drive, foul and one. Ice veins, freebie swish. Win, dynasty whispers. Summer sabbatical. Road trip route 66. Convertible top down. Diners dotting horizons. Grand Canyon rim. Vastness humbling. Small in scope, Ethan mused. Infinite in us. Dynasty's dawn brought introspection. The kind that sneaks in quiet moments. Like dawn jogs through Duke Gardens. Azaleas blooming defiant. Ethan's pace matching mine despite the limp from old aches. 5 years since that fateful email. Our story a tapestry woven tight. Rings exchanged in a Maui cliffside vow. Simple bands glinting sea salt. No paparazzi, just waves crashing amen. Parents there. Mom tearful, dad toasting with my ties. Family now, he'd said, clapping Ethan's back. Apex evolved empire. 16 teams, global scouts, diversity mandates etched bylaws. Foundation touched thousands, clinics in 20 cities, scholarships blooming. Jaden's rise mirrored mine. Rookie of year, his coming out op-ed in SI crediting, the Riveras. We mentored tandem, his wedding our best man double. Personal chapters turned. My poli-sci degree framed mantle, masters in sports management underway nights. Ethan's memoir ghosted. Shocks and awe. Draft pages curling bedside. Our truth. He read aloud evenings, voice gravelly. Critiques gentle, less boardroom, more heart. Nodded. That's you. Challenges persisted, life's full court press. Ethan's health, managed but moody. Flares sidelining travel, frustration flaring. One flare-up, Charlotte conference, him hospitalized mid-keynote. I flew frantic, keynote ghosting for gowns. Priorities, Doc affirmed. Recovery villa in Tuscany, borrowed from a vintner pal. Olive groves whispering, pasta handmade. Slow life, he conceded, sketching vineyard visions. Apex Italy? Grinned. Why not? Betrayal's final echo. Lena's tell-all. Empire of illusions. Dropped bombs, twisted timelines, fabricated feuds. Reviews rave scandal. Sales spiked. Ethan sued libel, but emotional toll mounted. Depositions dredging pain. Let it die, I urged therapy circle. He exhaled. Poison pen. Our antidote stronger. Settlement quiet. Her silence bought. Media matured. Docuseries pitch. Court of Kings. Our OK hinged authentic. Filming intimate. Tournament throwbacks. Therapy snippets blurred. Premiere Sundance. Standing ovation. Tears streaming. Post-screen Q&A. Hand in his. Love shocked us most. Legacy layered. Hall of Fame whispers for me. Post-retirement haze. At 28, game waning, knees creaking, but coaching calls beckoned. Ethan retired board seat. Consulting freelance. Freedom, he celebrated. Sailing Chesapeake weekends. Me crewing clumsy. Captain Hale. I saluted, salt spray stinging. Winter milestone. 10-year tournament anniversary gala. Atlanta Arena reborn. Luminaries packed. Obama cameo video. Billie Jean King toast. Me emceeing, voice thick. From test to testament. Ethan on stage. Arm linked. Alex shocked the world. Me most. Ovation thundered. Confetti fell like memory. After party rooftop, city sprawl twinkling, we slipped away. Full circle. He murmured, forehead to mine. Worth every foul. Kiss deepened. Stars winking complicit. Epilogue years. Kids via surrogate twins, Mateo and Elena. Toddling courtside in mini jerseys. Foundation HQ a Durham campus. Us adjuncts lecturing resilience. Ethan's book bestseller. Mine ghost plays on mentoring. Retire at 35. Coaching UNC. Him league commissioner emeritus. Sunset porch swings. Grandkids laughter distant. His hand weathered in mine. Shocked. I tease. Grins. Every day. Fade to net swish. Eternal. Humanistic close. In America's hoop dream. Flawed. Fierce. We found grace. Not perfection but partnership. Skills shocked. But love endured. The real win.